Liftoff.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Fempreneur True Confessions podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here for another week and an amazing day. We're up at the middle of or the end of August, and it's just crazy. If you don't know me, I'm Laura or Oda, and I own a virtual assistant and project management agency that helps small businesses get all those pesky things behind the scenes done so that you can thrive and grow and be confident, and we can have all of these amazing women businesses striving. So that's
Yeah.
what we do here at ODA.
And I'm Angelique with Lady Powerhouse Solutions, and we help female entrepreneurs who are on fire lighten up the world with their passion and drive, and we help them fulfill their mission in the most authentic way possible. Laura and I do really similar things, but we have chosen to collaborate instead of competing, and it has been awesome. It has been awesome, and I'm realizing now we've been together for like 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
working together on one thing or another, but on the podcast, we're going on 2 years,
Yes.
right?
Yes. It'll be 2 years
And
in October.
in October. So, and it's been awesome meeting all these fabulous women, and today's guest is no exception.
Absolutely not. We're going to do a quick introduction. We have Kellina with us today. And Kellina is a deaf coach and advocate, a podcast speaker, a best-selling author, and a passionate entrepreneur on a mission to help young adults with disabilities achieve their goals while also educating others about the deaf community. What makes her story even more incredible is that Kellina is actually a hard of hearing person who lost 100% of her hearing at the young age of 4. Being hard of hearing hasn't stopped her from pursuing her dreams, including gaining her bachelor's degree in psychology from New York University and postgraduate certificate in mental health and addiction. Also becoming a life coach and an Amazon best-selling author with her first book, Every Day I Am Just Deaf. Kellina encourages everyone that no matter what your circumstances are, you can have everything you want in life. She continues to overcome the many challenges of living in a hearing world. Her message is clear: never let anyone stop you from achieving your dreams. Welcome, Kellina. We're so glad to have you here today.
Yes, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for
That's
having me, guys. I'm
exciting.
excited to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, really quick, I'm going to do this to you. You are very young.
Thank you.
I, I'm like, not only like I'm reading this and I had read it and stuff, but you are so young and have already achieved so much, along with the challenges. And I always see challenges as superpowers. There's a way, you've got to find a way to
Yes,
adjust, and it becomes a superpower. So, but I look at you and I'm so amazed because we've had several conversations recently about the younger generation, how they're coming up, and the gifts that they have, and the challenges that they face are just so amazing. So I just wanted to put that out there that wow, because you are so young and you're already doing great things. So I'm super excited about that. But we were talking with Kellina in the green room and, going over information. And one of the things, so just to start with our thing, we realized that the closed captioning, what do we need to do to help out? And you don't need us to do anything, but we see already the one challenge that we weren't thinking of that we're now faced with and can now, figure that out from there. So I would love to talk with you about kind of what that really looks like for you when you're trying to maneuver and through things where we didn't prepare for something. Like we don't have closed captions in this moment or whatever. So it'd be nice to kind of just hear where you are and start. And I know you have an amazing story in regards to your grandma and your start and all of that. So I would love to just get into that and talk about your journey and what that's looked like for you.
Yeah, definitely. So before I came on, everybody, there's no question on this platform. The reason why I said it was okay was because I was in surprise. This is not the first platform that doesn't have closed captions. Unfortunately, I have been to other platforms that had no closed captioning, so I wasn't surprised. I was like, of course there isn't. But the good thing is I can read lips. So as long as I can read these beautiful ladies' lips, I am good. And so that's pretty much. But it is one of the difficulty I do face a lot of times in my entrepreneur journey, where a lot of people didn't know, right? I had to teach people, and I have to be consistent, even though it can be tiring at times, especially for other entrepreneurs who are a disability person, right? They came to me too, and they're like, Kellina, there's no closed caption on the platform. What do you do? And so I always taught a lot of people just let them know ahead of time. But I didn't, but it was my fault. So I'm like, no, I think it should be fine. But I had no idea, and I keep forgetting that these platforms don't always have it. But for me, I'm okay with reading lips, to be honest. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. And that's great because that it goes to show that, when we think about it, when we don't have the issues that other people face, we don't always consider it and think about it. And not ever to be rude when you don't know or when it's in a part of your life, it's not something that's at that forefront. So, definitely eye opening for that. So, but I would love to really quick touch on your grandma and the story and the information you gave and kind of how she molded and helped you with who you are today, because it sounds like she was just an intricate part of who you are and what that's about. And we love hearing about the grandmas. I think the grandmas
Yeah, grandma.
great stories.
I love grandma. So my grandma, she's an immigrant. She came from St. Lucia to Canada, and she was always a lion. Like if you guys meet her, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she had a very strong personality. And then so my grandma taught that towards me when I actually became step at the age of 4. And my mom was young. She was young when she had me. She was in college. She was finishing college. So she got the support from my aunt, my grandma. And so what happened was, when I became deaf, my grandma was actually a nurse at the time. Thankfully, thank God. So I feel like if she wasn't a nurse, I would have not understand, and my mom wouldn't know what to do next. So we had a lot of support from my grandma's work,
Mm.
and so it was so much smoother because she was a nurse, and it made it a lot easier for us. And long story short, I remember I did go through a lot of ups and downs in school. I was afraid and I was scared because I didn't know that this new life of myself as a tough person. I didn't know what to expect. Why am I the way I am?
Yeah.
And I will always ask my grandma these questions when I was younger. I'm like, why me? Why me? Why me? And my grandma said, God gives you a gift. It's not to build yourself. And I'm like, and I didn't understand it at all when I was young. And she said, it's a gift. You're going to use that gift and inspire people. So I didn't know what it means. I really didn't. And I was like 4, I was like 7 when she told me that.
Mhm.
Because I used to be bullied a lot of times during, oh, actually all my life. I was bullied a lot until high school. That's when I built my confidence. And it was not easy um, because I didn't know how to be myself, I would say, because I didn't know how to be me. And it took me years to build that confidence. Work with them, no matter what happened in life, you should never stop. That's what she always taught me is don't be afraid of being who you are as a person. And she always encouraged me to do so many things. My family signed me up for a lot of sports in the hearing community, not in the deaf community. They did that because they wanted to build my confidence.
It's
And they
under the thing in the back. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought it was muted.
Go ahead. No worries.
I'm
This is
sorry.
what
I
we
thought it was
love about
muted.
real life. No worries.
Kellina, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll edit that out. Oh, I can't. We're live. Damn.
You're good.
it's all
So,
good. This happened, you guys. This happened. I love when an accident like this happened. It is so And yeah, so it was very fun, and I learned a lot from my grandma because she always taught me, no matter what life throws at you, you still have to be aligned to move forward in life. Life is all about roller coaster, and I had to learn life pretty young because of my disability. I had to learn that I had something that not everybody else had, And that was the hardest thing I had to do, and the hardest thing my family had to do because I'm the first person in my family that is deaf. Everybody was nervous. They was like, "How do we communicate with Kellina? How do we need to learn sign language? Do we need to learn this?" And my family didn't learn ASL sign language. I just ended up going to a deaf school, and my family helped me to balance. So I went to a deaf school in the morning. In the afternoon, I went to the hearing school to teach me how to balance communication skills with everyone.
Nice.
Wow.
That's wonderful because I don't know that we always think about that. And your family sounds like they listen to you instead of trying to solve it for you, where they're just like, you're going to have to experience it. So they kind of went through it with you instead of, I know as a parent, my first reaction probably would have been like, we're going to do all the things and we're going to solve all the problems and you're just going to have, a normal as much life or whatever. And that
You're
may
not
not be
finding
your
it.
path, right? That normal, whatever. But that, I love that your family did that, where it was like, it's you get to figure it out, build your confidence and work with you. So I think we forget sometimes that when there's a challenge with anybody in the household, the family then has to adjust to that instead of them adjusting to the family. So I love really that they did that and were able to. That's a great thing, to have that support. So.
So how was communication if there wasn't any ASL?
So when I started, there were probably like 50-50 because the deaf school taught me sign language. And then
Uh-huh.
when I got transferred over to the hearing school full time, it was because the deaf school was a little too far from my house. It was like 30 minutes by bus. And my mom
Uh-huh.
was in school, so it was not convenient for my family at all. And my
Yeah.
parents worked, and there was a school 5 minutes walk from my house. So my mom, said, you know what, Nina, we have to put you in the hearing school because it's convenient, even though I didn't want to go. Um, so I just so in grade three, that's when I stopped doing sign language in grade three, and then
Okay.
I locally 100% throughout.
Wow. Wow.
Interesting. I like that. Interesting. Well, and again with the going back to the dealing with the masses instead of dealing with the other groups and stuff, where it's just like it's difficult in a school setting, which we always know everybody's different. There's so many different things going on. Um, I don't know how to word this. So the challenges with that when you were in school and you were going through all those things. What as you were doing that, what made you decide to go into college and study psychology and study and get your certificates and study what you studied? Did this have anything to do with that?
Yeah, 100%. So back in high school, I was actually looking for a deaf counselor because I was going through all these challenges, especially mental health in high school, peer pressure, bullying, and and it was hard to find someone that looked like me. And so I looked online on Google, and I realized that there was nobody out there. And I realized that I wanted to go to college and university to become a psychologist and be the first woman who was deaf in the psychology field. And then that's why I wanted to do it because I knew that if there's not enough reputation in the deaf community, I realized no one can get out there without having that role model. And it's very important that everybody have at least one role model in their life. Because once you make that one role model, you can make the whole impact in the whole world just by impacting one person. And so that's why I choose to go for psychology.
That's
Mm,
awesome.
yeah.
Wow. How do you think your upbringing shaped like your decision to do that?
Yeah, so I have two stories actually. So the first story was I used to work at a big park in Canada. It's called Canada's Wonderland. And there's a little boy approached me. My hair was in a ponytail. I did not care I used to be so sensitive about showing my hearing aids, especially putting my hair in a ponytail. I was never like that. And it was just a humidity hot that day. I was like, you know what? I'm just putting my hair in a ponytail. I don't care who looks at me. I just had that just like, at the And so I put my hair in a ponytail. A little boy approached me. He's like, Miss, look, I have your hair in it too. I'm like, no way. Yeah. And his mom came to me full of joy. And she was like, not crying, but she was like hopeful. Because she's like, I've been trying to tell my son he is normal. And you just give my
Yeah.
son by just
Yes.
putting your hair in a ponytail.
Yeah.
And I was just thrilled I just made an impact in one little boy that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Mom said to me, think you does that, you're gonna make a change in a row. You don't know it, but I can see it coming. So that's one of the stories. And then the
Very
other
cool.
story, the second story was when I was in my fourth year of university. I actually happened to run into a professor who was also deaf. I didn't know he was deaf. He paused the lecture and he said, one second, I have to take my hearing aid battery. So I was mind blowing because I was like, wait, did you just pause a movie theater, started a lecture to change your hearing aid battery? I'm like, no way, he's not deaf. There's nowhere. And then I looked closely. I'm like, he changed his hearing aid battery. So I never met someone that had so much confidence to say that in front of a whole bunch of people. And
That's awesome.
he just made an impact in my life by showing me that if he can do it, I can do it too without no excuse. And so I was telling him after class, and I said, sir, I'm actually out of thinking. He goes, really? And then we just had a full of like a great conversation about hearing loss, especially career paths. And I asked him like, sir, I really want to make an impact in the world, but I don't know what it is. And I said to him about the story about the little boy, and he said, wow. And he said, look at that. You see me now, something you can do for other people too. And so right there, I knew I had to be an entrepreneur, get myself out there, really make huge impact in other people, not just for the deaf community, but also upbringing the deaf community with me, especially into the hearing space.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Really into what I
So, what was one of your first opportunities where you were able to collaborate with a fellow entrepreneur and be that role model of collaboration versus competition?
my first collaboration I did was a school for the deaf in Canada. A principal actually met me to a networking event, and I had no idea she was principal, to be honest. I was like, what? And so she's just like, wait, your friend's doing? And I said, yeah, how do you know that? And she's like, oh, I just saw your hearing aid. And like, honestly, when I tell you guys, ever since someone said your hearing aid shows so much, it built my confidence even more because you just never know who you're going to come across. And so when he said, hey, I would love for you to talk to students in the school, let's collaborate on that. And I said, oh, let's do that. And it made so much great impact on it was like a lot of kids on the Zoom. It was during COVID. And a lot
Mm,
of people were like, oh my God, like she's so young, she's that too. And it was so cute because I think they were expecting someone older than
yeah.
someone like me. And again, it's because I would not surprise the way they reacted because I would have said the same thing. Because when I was younger, it was a bunch of cool people. And those were not the people I would currently look up to. I guess I would have to look for someone younger. So I guess for them to see me, and even the principal saw the reaction, he was like, wow, I think the kid just see someone young. And I'm like, they do. If I were them, I would do the same thing. And
Yeah.
it was a great, but it was a great collaboration I had with our school. The second collaboration I did was with Indiana State University. So I did taught a lot of schools for the students who are becoming our so we did a lot of courses and classes. I had to travel there for a course just to do a lot of giving them insight of what it's like to be deaf because there's not a lot of, especially this new young generation. It's very hard to find someone that to like represent this new generation.
Very cool. Very cool.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, and we were talking about you're so young, and that role model being in that, a lot of times we think about it, and I know between generations there's always this argument like young ones don't hear us, and older ones don't listen, and this and that, and it would go back and forth, and we don't always align. I realized recently, even with my own son, I don't always align, and that you guys need those role models that are showing you younger, and not that our generation doesn't have the role models and the ability to see where you can go or what's possible. The understanding of having different generations and where you can be that role model is just really amazing. Because there is a truth in seeing someone closer to your age that's going through the same struggles and working through it at a young age, instead of seeing the later in life when that person spent a lifetime building confidence and doing all of that. It can look like it's a long time out before something like that can happen. So, and your confidence is off the charts. Like, you don't hesitate. You just talk and you go, and it like comes through you in a big way. So, yeah, I definitely think you were definitely here for a reason. You've got a massive purpose. So, I'm excited to watch your future for sure, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's going places, because that kind of purpose is so needed. Again, the things we don't think about, So, um,
You
and
know
then,
what
oh, go ahead.
it brings to mind for me is that, and there are so many examples of this, right, historically, but we always need that reminder that if someone that young and with that many, for lack of a better term, strikes against them can be successful and confident, what the hell is holding me back? And we all have our shit, right? We all have our stuff that we allow to affect our mindset and create our own little inner demons, and the monkey mind and
Yeah.
all of those things.
Mhm.
So, and we all have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
I do, like, you know
All in the same day.
sometimes several times a day, but anyway.
Oh my goodness.
But so, Kellina, what keeps you going? Because I know you have had struggles and felt, like something failed or didn't work, or it's just too hard. What has kept you going?
So many things kept me going. My main reason is to the youth. My main reason is youth. What I mean by that is I meet so many different youth every day who kept telling me thank you, thank you. Every time I do speaking, every time I talk about my book to other youth, they always keep telling me thank you. We needed you. And for me to realize that there's someone else that's watching me who needs me more than you need. And these youth needed me the most to break that cycle. And that's what kept me going.
Yeah, love it. Well, and that's it. I mean, for what we talk about is that non-compete and how we support in business, and we don't, and having that abundance mindset. I mean, that's a classic example. Not you're not only up against a very competitive arena in coaching and working with people and stuff like that, but you're also got those other challenges behind you that come with it. So the ability to have that mindset of being open with that, and we don't compete, and you're there, and then you found your space. How does how that come about, really, like in that world? Did you ever have a concern about what you were going into, that was going to be a competitive world for you? Were you scared in regards to that? Or maybe not scared is the good word, but lack of a better word.
Yeah, I was nervous, just because I know I'm different from a lot of people. I was never to collaborate. I was always on that collaborative mindset because I learned that you can't go far alone, but you can go farther as a group. That's something I was being taught when I was younger because I see my family work together to help me succeed. And I saw that. So I always
That's awesome.
thought, like, I can't go alone because if my whole family can help me with that, then why can I not do that with everybody else? And so I always had that collaboration mindset. I was scared, to be honest, because I thought I was gonna get rejected because I thought they need me. A lot of people sometimes don't know this, but sometimes for disability community, we are left behind. And that's how I felt sometimes, especially being in a space, in a entrepreneur space. I was nervous because I didn't know people will accept me who I am. Knowing that I need closed caption, knowing I need this, I need that, when I was growing up, I was never always accommodated. Right? People just pushed me into clubs a lot of times. So I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who anybody was. I just started making profile. I just connected with people, and everybody said, "Oh my God, we need more of you." And I was shocked. I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I didn't know that they need more uh, disability people out there more. And that's when I started learning how to collaborate with people the right way and how can I support other people. I don't just give and not, give back or something. So I'm more of a collaboration person. But yeah, because my family taught me that.
Beautiful. I love that. That's so amazing because whether you have a disability or not, or a challenge in any way, not all families come together like that. There's not always that unity shown in a family, you know. I know growing up that if somebody had a disability, if there was a different challenge, they were more treated like um, less than, or again, lack of a better word, stupid. Like you weren't able to learn.
Yeah.
Or they would talk down, like, do you understand? And and I would see those things and be like, why do we talk to people just because they're different? In a way, it's like a baby talk, or like we've got to coddle them more. And I always found that very interesting. Did you run into that a lot as you were growing up and stuff? Do you get
I,
talked into a lot, or that feeling of it?
yeah, all the time. Like I have people talk to me very disrespectfully. I have people thinking they know what's best for me outside of my family. Like there's like for example, schools and principal, like they were not supportive at all. They doubted me. They're one of those people. Um, so I had them speak to me different because of my friends, for example. When we get in trouble, I would see them and they get away with it and I don't get away with it. And I was like, okay. Or
Yeah.
like, okay, Kellina, you go the other way. I'm like, I'm still a human being. So my family taught me to speak up for myself a lot of times.
Good.
Very good.
And
Yeah.
so they said, no, this is not supposed to. I remember one day I think I was in grade 4. I cried. I went home and like my mom, like, oh, my hearing is broken. But it's not broken. I just didn't want to go to school. I didn't tell her about the bullying situation until my grandma told her. Right? My grandma knows me too well. And so she's like, Kellina, what is your problem? I'm like, Grandma, I don't want to go to school. And she's like, excuse me? And I'm like, Grandma, no. I don't want to go. Please don't make a scene. Please don't be a lion. Please don't. So when I witnessed my grandma and my mom showed up to the school, I witnessed how they advocated for me and stood for me, and they saw me
Mm,
that what's happening. So I see my family sign up for me. I knew I had to stand up for myself without them. So for me,
yeah.
witnessing that as a kid is like, so that's how.
Yeah. I
And
love.
that's an awesome lesson, not only that at that time, but to this day, right? Am I right?
Mhm.
Like sometimes I fall back into these old patterns, right? I've come through them, I've learned the lesson, and then but for whatever reason, whether it's because I'm physically tired or mentally tired or emotionally drained,
Right.
I will fall back into a pattern and have to remind myself, no, I need to show up for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you do have people around you that will help you. And the Bible talks about how there were these, I don't remember if they were disciples or what, that would hold up the arms of, I think it was Jesus. Somebody was praying and his arms were tired, but they held his arms up. And that's what we need is people around us who will hold our arms up,
Yeah.
you know, that will hold our hand and remind us that we are um, worthy and important and that we are smart and, and all those things because those patterns, those belief systems that other people put on us. And I had a car accident a couple of years ago, and up until about 2 months ago, I was walking with a walker because I couldn't walk, and sometimes I would use a cane if I went out of the house. That's a big if I did anything.
Right.
And so I learned over the past couple of years the limitations, physical the disability that I had obtained, that and how it affects people's lives, and it is eye opening.
Yeah.
It is eye opening, and I have just a whole new respect for people with disabilities, and not just physical disabilities, but I've also worked with people that, they're trying to, they've had a stroke or something, and before they were able to work from home, work on the computer. After their disability, they have to relearn. It's like learning a new language to use a computer or any kind of technology.
Mhm.
Because while there is some accessibility out there, it's still challenging. It's another challenge and it's like, it's one thing after another. And you would think that if somebody with already who has, disability or challenges, it'd be like life should be easier for them, not harder. It doesn't work that way,
No.
you know? So I don't know where I was going with that, but something sparked that. I guess because you saw them stand up for you, but sometimes we don't have people there to stand up for us, and we have to do it ourselves. And we have to have that language in our brain, in our mind, that says, I'm going to channel grandma right now. And she would say, kind of like, what would Jesus do? What would grandma say in this situation? She'd say, hell to the no, not my girl. Right? Or something, but you have that knowing in you of her and what she would have done for you, and you can she modeled that for you so that you could model it for other people. It's fantastic. What a great legacy.
Yeah. Amazing ripple effects that come out of that, where even just the littlest of things, like your family team together, that is massive, and having that support, because then that does push you forward, saying, I can do this, I can really have it. And then when you fall, they're still there. Not everybody has like that feeling of having someone there when they fall, especially family. We all kind of build our family with people outside of our bloodlines. I think that's how I built mine, was other people in, because we have a very small family. But it's more that when people are looking at it, a lot of times families don't always know how to deal with it. So having that strong sense about you and that family togetherness definitely is amazing, because that is going to ripple effect out to so many people through you. That is just, it's amazing. So love it.
Well, we're almost out of time, Kellina, so I definitely want to get to the story you had about your assistant. And because one of the questions we ask is, how do you lead through action? What does that mean to you? And you had an example with your assistant that you shared that I thought was really cool.
I have a lot of examples with my little sister. So obviously my little sister and I are 8 years apart. So it's a big gap between us. And I remember I was super young and I had to explain to my sister what was in my ear. And so my sister was really confused. She was just curious, like, what is that thing? Especially when she was like 6 or 7. She was that age where they asked a lot of questions. And I remember how we were always close. My mom made sure we were super close. And it's just always my buddy. Every time I go somewhere, she comes, and she didn't mind repeating. But for me, I'm like, what did you say? She goes, oh my God, I got it. I said, okay, but not in a bad way. But she always backed me in. Every time I go somewhere, I got
Beautiful.
Very cool. Awesome. So, Kellina, you have a book, which I think we mentioned in the bio, right?
Yes.
Every day, I am just deaf. And so, is that a book where they can go out and buy that online?
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. It's called Every Day I Am Just That.
Wonderful. We need y'all to go support that. It's great. So definitely go on Amazon, check that out. And what do you, as far as what are you doing in business? What does your future look like? Where are you headed with this?
I love that. I love that question. So I'm actually starting a second business. It is a virtual assistant agency. So where I'm actually going to be here supporting small business owners and entrepreneurs, owners who have a disability to help them build a business. And so that is my goal for now for everybody. And to really help other people to let them know that if I can do it, you can do it. Especially
Yes.
people with small business, like it's hard for them to get off their feet. I realize that a lot because a lot of people keep asking me like, "Hey, Tina, what skill do you use to get yourself out there? It's only been 3 years and you're being super success. Like, what am I doing wrong?" And
Yes.
a lot of people kept asking me, and I said, "No, what? Maybe I can actually help other people by offering that my virtual assistant agency because I actually have an assistant, personal assistant, and she actually helped me grow my business a lot. And so I want to give back to the community, the small business owners who are disabled owners. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at.
And what a great niche, like to have virtual assistants that already know how to work with people with disabilities.
Exactly.
Freaking A, girl, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. So we'll drop all the links for Kellina for her book, for
Mhm.
all her socials, so you can connect with her. You definitely, if you are interested in going into that niche, if you are someone with a disability or work with people with disabilities, she sounds like a great power partner to have. I'm just saying. Hey. So next week our guest is Jamie Rockymore. And while working in the psychiatric hospital setting, Jamie noticed the gap in education regarding mental health. And we touched a little bit on mental health today. But next week, we're going to talk about how she created Helpful Living magazine. And her goal is to provide support and resources and debunk the stigma on mental health. Jamie started speaking publicly about mental health wellness during the pandemic. And at the top of 2024, Jamie started her podcast, Going Through with Jamie. Jamie continues to strive and express the importance of mental health and wellness. Her desire is to continue to speak at events and be bold about ending the stigma on mental health. Y'all, I am so behind this because we all a little crazy. Ain't none of us completely sane or stable. No, for real. And we won't hesitate to call that doctor when we start sniffling or
Yeah.
coughing. We want that pill, right? And I'm not
Mhm.
saying everybody needs a pill. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But we seek help without any stigma. Our mental health is connected to our body.
Mhm.
So if we're taking care of our body, if we're taking care of our mind and our mental health, our body, it's reciprocal, it's symbiotic.
Yes.
And so I love what she's doing about getting rid of the stigma behind
Mhm.
the mental health, um, behind seeking mental health and saying that you're in counseling. I love it when people say, I was talking to my therapist, I was talking to my counselor. We should all have one.
Yeah. Yeah. We're a big
Amen.
push for counselors and therapists and getting that kind of help because just
Yes.
want to, definitely. It's huge. So,
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, Kellina, for being with us today. It's been absolutely a delight to have you here and to hear your story. Thank you for sharing it and being bold and confident in sharing your story. And we will see everyone else. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for bearing with my nomadic and my faux pas of yelling at my daughter while I'm on the microphone. I'm so sorry about that.
could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been way worse, but she was just looking for Jack in my car. But so we will see you guys next week. We're live on Mondays at 12 Eastern, and we'll see you next week with Jamie. Bye.